Farm Act also funds the National School Lunch Program that helps students get access to free or reduced price meals.
Many families are eligible. Our consumer investigator Caroline Hicks is breaking down how the program works in North Carolina so you can save money.
The National School Lunch Program is a federally assisted program to ensure all students have access to nutritious meals at school. Eligibility is determined by household income. So here is a breakdown. For a household of 5 people with an annual income of $47,554, your students will have access to free meals. That same household size with an annual income of $67,673 will qualify for reduced lunches for children. There's also a breakdown available for those receiving monthly, bi-monthly, or weekly paychecks. Now keep in mind, you don't have to consider these options if your household is eligible for SNAP or cash assistance. In those cases, your child will automatically be eligible for free meals. Foster children who are the legal responsibility of a social services agency or court are also eligible for free meals. Now, if you have not filled out an application, you can find those details by going to WBTV.com and finding this story under Consumer Solutions. That's also where you can find information on exactly what your income qualifies your family for. A new application must be submitted each school year. I'm Caroline Hicks with your Consumer Solutions.